It's time to get some SportSense. You're gonna get some SportSense. You better get ready for SportSense. SportSense.
Welcome back to SportSense, everyone. This is the show where we break down sports news for sports noobs. I'm Cooper Epps, here to learn about sports and sports culture from my dad, James Epps. Let's get into it. Welcome back to SportSense, everyone. This is Cooper, James, and Benson Epps. We got my boy
the star
here.
of the show. Yeah, Benson. Hey, buddy. Always good to talk to you, Coop. Hey, buddy, you look good in your Canes jersey.
Yeah, we both got our Hurricanes jerseys on, which, Dad, I guess I should have sent you the memo because I know you've got one you can put on too.
I do. I went camo tonight.
That works. So we are talking about the Hurricanes because, well, we got two big things we want to talk about tonight. One of them is the Stanley Cup playoffs. So the Hurricanes are a Carolina hockey team, and very excited. They actually have a good, solid chance of going all the way this year. So we're proud fans. It's nice to have at least one team this year that we can be proud of as a family, huh?
Absolutely. I'm just laughing at Benson staring right in that camera for a minute.
Yeah,
we're very, very proud of the Canes. This is 8th year in a row of the playoffs, but got one Stanley Cup. It'd be nice to have a number 2. And I think I saw, didn't you show a ranking that by the odds makers, their number 2 chance to win it against, of course.
So yeah, among people who filled out brackets.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They're the number 2 most picked. So I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
But first, as always, we got to do a little bit of mailbag. And so for those of you who send us DMs, emails, texts, we try to bring at least a couple things up. And so this week we got in a little bit of trouble because one of our most loyal listeners, CJ, thank you for your support. He chewed you out, Dad, from what I understand, for not including some MLB.
It didn't come via. It was truly a direct message almost. It was from his mother, so I got it delivered that way in person. So today,
okay, and
so that's how I found out.
Yeah, tell us about what he is. He can't believe that we didn't feature it. What is this thing?
Well, it's even beyond disbelief. He was disgusted with us. So I mean, this really cut deep.
Wow.
That we did not make a big deal or really celebrate Major League Baseball's opening day. Now, excuse me, CJ, I got to give this has been a little bit challenging in Major League Baseball. Opening day stretches are like 5-6 days. It starts way early now over in like Japan for a game or two.
Opening day is 5 or 6 days?
Well, it's like they stretched it out. It used to be opening day was like the first day, right? And tons of teams played.
Uh-huh.
Now they kind of stretch it out. They go overseas, play early, come back here. Some are playing March 20. It used to be like April 1st, right? It seemed like opening day. But now it's moved up earlier and spread out. Hard to call it opening day anymore. They used to have literally an opening day for all Major League Baseball.
Yeah, it's like how
played on the first.
For certain family members of ours, it's not so much a birthday anymore as it is a birth week or birth month.
Exactly. So it's a little bit of that's how they start.
They milk it for a while.
Mea culpa. Let's see if CJ learns what that means. But we're sorry. We apologize. It's been a good start. Already crazy. Of course, I'm excited because my other team I'm proud of, the Braves have, they have such a great organization. They had an off year last year, right? They got injuries galore, pitcher injuries, their best player injury. And they had their first off year in years and years and years. And they've come out gangbusters. They're like 16-7. They're tied with the Dodgers with the best record in baseball.
No way.
They've got the largest run differential. Meaning they've outscored the opponents by more runs than any other team.
Yeah, really outscored their opponents.
Yeah, they're playing the Nationals right now. They were behind. Now they're behind 4-3 in that game. But anyway, so I'm excited. I'm already excited about baseball because of the Braves. But so CJ, cool. That was one item, Cooper. The next item I expect you to take a hold of, and we'll come back and visit it because this is right down your alley because this has a lot to do with graphic design and almost artists involved. But he wanted to talk about the City Connect uniforms or unis. And it's I did read it started full blast like in 2021. The first idea was 2017, but it's where And I think every team this year has a City Connect, and it goes back historically. They'll like to go, most of them, best that I can tell, they go back to some of their historic many decades ago uniforms,
Some
looking at the
throwback
color. Yeah,
jerseys.
and it's more than
Cool.
throwback. That's why they make a City Connect. They'll put names on their uniforms that had to do with their city, maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Yeah, they're just special edition uniforms that have to do with
very
what it looks
special
like.
edition. But I
Okay.
guess it's also big. It's big to the local city. To the local home team in the city, it's a big deal.
Big deal,
And
yeah.
especially a big deal to the fans who really love and follow the team. So
Cool.
City Connect unis, there we go, CJ. We mentioned it. We'll see if Cooper can give us maybe in a week or two. We'll get some pictures we can throw up and have some examples and see what Cooper, how he ranks them or grades them.
Yeah, I was gonna say we should pick our favorites right now, but I don't think this article is showing me all of them. But
no, there's other articles that do, I think, that show them all.
Yeah. This one, man, the Pirates one is super cool. I don't know. It doesn't seem to have really anything to do with Pittsburgh in particular. It's just a really cool Pirates uniform. So,
like
anyways,
I said, I think this has got a lot of artists into it.
Sure, I'm sure they do some artist partnerships. So that's fun. Okay. Well, yeah. Oh, this article says 8 teams unveil new City Connect uniforms. So maybe it was just 8 this year.
Yeah, I think they all are getting them at some point this year. I think that's
Maybe
they roll them out.
They stagger them. Okay.
Through the city is what I think.
It's not just a beginning of the season tradition.
No.
Okay.
This is
just kind
throughout
of as
the
it
season.
comes.
Yeah.
I've noticed this with basketball too. I've seen some basketball jerseys that are kind of unique to a given year.
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, I wonder. Yeah, I mean, I know lots of teams do special edition jerseys, of course, but
you have to read about it. It's like a whole program. I don't know. There's more to it. I think that's what they made such a big deal.
Cool. I like it when there's kind of a purpose behind it. Like we talked a few weeks ago in the NFL how they had like My Cleats Day or whatever it was, or My Cause, My Cleats, I think is what it was. And they like would design their cleats around based on some nonprofit or something. It's kind of cool. But
I love it when they let the kids, cool. Some of those nonprofits have the kids, like it was like a hospital or something. Some of the kids that were the kids design them. They're so cool. And then the player ends up sending the cleats back to the kid.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Okay.
I think Josh Allen had a really cool one for that, for a patient, a child, someone if they're cancer patient.
Everything Josh Allen is cool.
Yeah, he's a pretty cool dude.
But yeah, thank you, CJ. And we will get to more baseball as that heats up. This baby's starting to get a little rivey. So we'll see how long he can handle it.
Let's see how you can handle it. He can handle it fine. Look at you got to give him something to do. Let him hold the mic better or something.
All right. So that's mostly it for our mailbag. I did contribute my own thing, which is I saw a headline about Mike Vrabel. Vrabel. He's the Patriots coach, right? The one who
head coach, correct?
Just brought them to the Super Bowl this last season.
So you're trying to bring in some more of that,
salaciousness,
back page salacious material. Which this is relevant. I will give you this. It's relevant.
Yeah, I mean, for the people, just say we don't need to get deep into it. It's not even interesting anymore because so many coaches have so many affairs. It's just a boring story at this point, but it's still being talked about, still being memed. So, and this was one of the top coaches of the past season, so he's been in the limelight.
And he was the coach of the year, and
oh wow,
I love how the article briefly said. I didn't dig down and find the pictures, but Rossini, the female reporter, she's been around for a long time, done great. But anyway, what I find, their initial report was his initial response. That's what got him. It gets you in hot water when you lie.
Sure.
And his initial response was, this has been out of context. You need to see the bigger picture. Was there's 6 others, and this was innocent. It was just innocent, interaction between the group. Well, they dug deeper in the pictures. There's more than that. Apparently, you can tell pretty much. And the article I read, the brief one I just looked on ESPN, says, and it is important to note that both are married to different people. That's how they said it. I said, there's the problem. Well, he did come out today. I think the pertinent news is he came out today for the first time, and basically, he's trying to put it behind him before the draft this Thursday and before all that. And he's He
Yeah, I
basically
saw.
said, "Yeah, I need to hold myself to the same standard, that I do everybody in the organization, and I've had hard conversations with my family and my friends and the players, and that's that. No more
Yeah,
questions, no more nothing. There you go. No apology, no nothing." But
yeah.
so
I
obvious. And then she resigned, right? She resigned from the
the
Athletic.
newscaster or whatever. Yeah,
Yes,
reporter,
news reporter.
football, NFL reporter. I think is what she was, right?
Yep.
Um, so I mean, yeah, it's like I said, it's not much of a story, but it's.
No,
I just saw a headline saying he says Mike Vrabel says he was having serious or hard talks with his family. And
hard talks.
I was
Yep,
like, does he
hard
have
talk.
cancer or what the heck is going on? Because the article is being so
But they've been very
cloak and
kind
dagger
to
about it.
him and her.
Yeah,
They've
the
done
media,
this with
the
a little
articles
bit of
have
kid
been
gloves
soft.
on this. Yeah, a little kid
Yeah,
gloves on this one.
for sure. So that's what I found interesting. I kind of wanted to call out, but anyways, I guess when you're good at sports, you can kind of get away
Well,
with
that and
whatever
they're
you want.
both beloved. They're both
Oh, really?
beloved.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's like this is maybe their one pass. If it happens again, there might be some
Right.
more
Yeah, I
media
think.
consequences.
Yep.
All right. Well, sorry, I didn't want to spend too long on that, but there you go. Let's get into some hockey. Okay, this is for the one sport I like. Of course, I get thrilled for this time of year. And I texted Keaton this morning because he was commenting on the Hurricanes game last night, how
Yeah.
crazy it was. And I was just like, I totally forgot how incredible the NHL playoffs are. Like, it's like a switch flips from the regular season to the playoffs where I don't know if these guys felt like they've been storing up, kind of saving themselves, trying to stay healthy for the playoffs. But then it seems like once the playoffs come, it's hit, 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 fight, block the puck with my face, get in another fight. Like it is just crazy. Um,
You two have had the exact same look for a few seconds. His eyes are big, yours are big. He's
yeah,
staring at me, you're staring at me. That's the
yeah.
cutest thing in the world.
Hey, if this should be incentive. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube, make sure to give us
Oh
a
my gosh,
sub there.
Benson is the star tonight. He is just killing me right now.
He
So
does have the
mark the
biggest,
time, like
cutest eyes.
14:0 whatever. We'll see. Anyway,
And look,
yes,
I
I
I
do
believe in
think
raising. Oh, sorry. I was gonna say I believe in raising kids with an open mind and so forth, but we are indoctrinating him as a Hurricanes fan, as you can tell.
absolutely. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, what were we gonna say?
No, just that you're right. I do think towards especially when they get locked up now, Canes had real motivation to play all the way to the next to last game because they wanted to lock up the number one seed and
Yeah.
until get to the Stanley Cup final. So that's awesome. But it's they say that a little bit about NBA basketball. They cruise a lot, and when the serious playoffs start, then the defense picks up dramatically. It gets to be a lot rougher game. But in hockey, the evidence is so much more clearly because it's such a violent sport when they
Yeah.
decide to make it violent. But I love the first game for the Hurricanes. It was a stall. Whoever dropped his gloves in the first
Yeah.
20
So,
seconds or something.
yeah, I
That
thought this was worth calling out. So do you know the name Kachuk?
yes. Oh
So
yeah,
the
from the
from
Olympics,
the
right?
Olympics, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so both brothers, I believe, are on Team USA. So Matthew and Brady Kachuk are
Yeah.
both NHL players for different teams normally. So Brady Kachuk made a real name for himself just in the mainstream media during the Four Nations face-off last year, which we talked about. That was the first time they did that tournament, but it was basically a mini Olympic round of hockey games. And so he's the one that started the three fights in the first 5 seconds or whatever of that Four
With
Nations game of
yeah, yeah.
USA versus Canada.
Yeah.
That there's been so many videos about that since then. So he apparently that's just his style. Is he has no shame, no hesitation. He loves to get in fights, and he's kind of one of the few players that really is like that anymore.
That's old school, yeah.
Him and Matthew were raised by an NHL star dad, I learned. So they were raised, as one commentator put it the other night, they were raised rich, but they play like they're poor. Like they play like they're from the streets.
Blue collar, yeah.
And so anyway, so Brady Kachuk is a captain on the Ottawa Senators, who the Hurricanes are against them this first round. I did want to mention, if you're not familiar, both the NBA playoffs and NHL playoffs are formatted very similarly, where teams face each other for a best of 4 out of 7 games per round. right, Dad? That's true for
Yep.
NHL
Yeah,
and NBA?
NHL is. NBA, they used to do 5, but I think it's all 7 now. Yeah,
So, yeah,
it's all
somebody at
7
work
now.
told me at least
They
the
changed it.
first round or 2 used to be best of 5, and then it would go to
Yes, it
best of
did, and they
7.
changed it back to 7, yeah.
Yeah, so now it's all best of 7. Makes sense. They wanna sell ad space and all that stuff,
Right.
um, but yeah, to me, best of 7 is, it's a little long. I think best of 5 would be plenty enough to prove you're the better team, but anyways, I'm not complaining. I love watching the hockey, but okay, getting distracted. But yeah, game 1, round 1, Hurricanes versus Senators. Kachuk, the captain of Ottawa, was facing off against Jordan Staal, a captain of the Hurricanes. And basically, he said, "Hey, want to fight?" According to Stahl's interview later on, and the interviewer said, how'd you know you wanted to fight him or whatever?" And he said, "Well, I guess I knew I was going to do it when he asked me to." And so
I hadn't
Stahl,
heard that. That's great.
he's not known to be much of a fighter.
Right.
He's a big burly dude though. He's nothing to mess around with on the
Right.
ice. And so they both had a very even exchange of punches. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of
Okay.
the boy, but
Bye, Benson. Love you. Bye-bye. Adios.
so anyways, very exciting start to the series. And ever since, I mean, it has been a brutal one. It's only been 2 games. Hurricanes are up 2-0 in the series. And yeah, it's looking like they'll probably make it to the next round. So go Carolina.
They should, but
And
they had to go to double overtime last night to win. So
oh my gosh, yeah, that was
that
stressful.
that's
Which
not
that's
easy.
a whole other
That's what
story.
makes
but-
great hockey too, right? That's why it makes great playoff hockey too.
oh yeah,
Is you don't shoot out. You just keep playing.
right. Macy was asking me about that last night.
shootouts.
So in the regular season, in overtime, it goes to 3-on-3 instead of 5-on-5 like normal for the most of the game. And then after one period of 3-on-3, I think it's even like only 5 or 10 minutes or something
yeah,
short.
right. It's a short
And
period.
after that is out, they just go to a shootout. And starts with best of 3 if you don't know how a shootout works. And if you're still tied up after that, it's sudden death. Whoever gets the next goal in a round, basically. So, okay. But yeah, that's the hockey. Several of you filled out brackets with us. So,
yeah.
Funny enough, in our group, I think like 9 of the 10 of us picked Carolina to go all the way. And so if they fall out, then we're all in trouble.
That's why on the other group I have Avalanche. I was covering my bases.
Okay.
So.
Well, yeah, so I did want to mention, just so if you're curious about hockey at all, these are the 3 teams that most people picked as the champions of their brackets. Oilers were number 3, 9% of people chose them. Carolina, 10%. And then Colorado Avalanche, nearly 40% of people who filled out brackets.
We were higher than
picked
10%. I saw 26% what you sent me.
Well, that might be the odds of them winning or something. But
yeah, they weren't that far behind Avalanche. That must have been the odd. That must have been
so
Vegas.
This is just the most picked champions of people who filled out brackets. Yeah.
So I must have seen the Vegas odds. So I was pretty impressed. We were only like 6 points behind.
Okay.
Vegas.
I mean, that's the truth.
Avalanche,
I just think Avalanche probably, they have more of a legacy name in the hockey world, and people probably think more highly of them more easily. But okay. But yeah, so that's basically the scoop on the Stanley Cup. If you've ever been interested in hockey, this is the time to watch, because it is, like we were saying, just action packed, so fast, so brutal, in like a awesome way. Anyway, I'll stop there. Okay.
Do you want quick tidbits on the hockey while we wrap it up?
Oh my gosh, I forgot to say, weeks ago, Dad teased us with this, and then we decided to save it until the playoffs started. And so, Dad, tell us a little bit about.
So we talked about before, when does the coach decide to pull the goalie at the end of a game in hockey? And then when they pull a goalie, that means they get to put another offensive man, basically player on the ice. And so it goes, what do they have, 5 on the ice normally, right? 6?
Yep. 5 plus the goalie.
So they pull the goalie and they got 6 men on the ice. And it's a desperation move, basically, to try to, that means they're usually down 1 goal when they do that. But, Cooper basically asked, and we talked about, how effective is it? Why did they do it? When did they do it? Generally, currently, the last few years, the timing seems to be right around the 2-minute mark. So your team's down by 1 goal. It's 2 minutes before the end of the game, and it's not looking good. You haven't been able to score hardly all night, and you've got to tie this game up to take it into overtime. So they'll pull the goalie, throw in an extra man, and that means your goal is completely unguarded and exposed. Some of the fun. So first of all, most coaches are still pretty conservative about doing that. A lot of them won't do it, and if they do, it is at the bitter end. But here's some interesting. It's called the psychology and quote the code of empty nets. We talked a little bit about baseball. Baseball's got some crazy unwritten rules, right?
Really, just cultural kind of
how you
guidelines?
flip a bat after a home run, how you run around the bases. There's some crazy stuff. Oh yeah, how you flip a bat. If you look
is it
at the
basically
dugout,
etiquette? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, it's code. It's how. Yeah, it's good sportsmanship or bad sportsmanship.
Okay.
And also, forever after you hit a home run, especially if you really, really flip a bat and do something really in their face, you know the next batter's getting hit, right, with a pitch. That's traditionally how has it always been.
Oh, really? As a punishment?
The next batter up, they punk that batter. So I'm just giving you a little bit of idea. Each sport
we'll
has
have to come
their
back
own
to that.
code. That's hilarious. There's weird things you cannot do in baseball. If you do, you're gonna have a bench clearing brawl.
Wow.
But the psychology and code of empty nets. So I'm gonna read this real quick because I thought it was fascinating. Because hockey culture is even stranger at times. Hockey culture maintains complex, unwritten rules. Unwritten rules about empty net conduct. In February 2024, Ottawa's, which the team Canes are playing right now, Ridley Gregg sparked controversy when he took a slap shot into an empty net. Traditional thinking suggests gentle wrist shots or simply skating the puck viewing slap shots as disrespectful and showboating. So you're not supposed to slap shot. That means a powerful flick of the wrist, a powerful shot into an empty net when it's an empty net.
Sure.
You can skate it in easy or hit a nice easy shot, which is hilarious to me. Yeah. Modern perspectives questions these rules. One fan noted, and this is what I would say: if you don't want the puck shot at your empty net, don't be down going into the last minute of the game. That was a smart, right fan. The practical reason most players avoid slap shots, this is really the getting down to it. The practical reason most players avoid slap shots has nothing to do with respect. It's accuracy. Missing an empty net looks far worse than a perceived disrespect from
For sure. That would be shameful. Yeah.
So the final analysis. It's a beautiful gamble. Empty net strategy perfectly captures hockey's blend of emotion and analysis. Every goalie pulled represents a coaching declaring, we're not going down without a fight. That's what the coach is saying when he pulls them. The math is clear, though. When you're already losing, trading defensive security for a 15% comeback chance, there is your number, beats accepting certain defeat. Understanding this strategy enhances your hockey appreciation, revealing that tactical sophistication behind those final dramatic minutes. So it runs about a 15% success rate.
Okay. Interesting.
That's it. That's a little bit about empty nets.
Yeah. Man, well, that is way more interesting than I ever thought, like you said a while back. But yeah, it's I guess I thought I had more thoughts on it, but they're not coming to me. So we can just move on, I guess.
Yeah, we'll move on. That's probably enough hockey so far.
But wait. Well, while we're on that, so that's not the only time that empty nets happen at the end of a game in desperation. There's one other instance that confused Macy when we were watching a game last night. So it's during a delayed penalty. And so I want to explain that really quick because you might see that in a game. And so basically, let's say I'm an Ottawa player, and I do a penalty like trip or slash one of the Hurricanes. And so, but let's say that happens, but the Hurricanes are still in possession of the puck. And on
attack, I think is
that's got to be it too, because sometimes they do call the penalty right away,
right?
But
they let an attack continue,
So the refs will let the attack continue, and as soon as the puck touches the opponent's stick, the offending team, the whistle blows, play is stopped, and so that basically means as long as the team that got the penalty on them, Carolina in our example, they can pass the puck around and around and keep playing as long as they want without worrying at all about anything
a shot
happening.
on their net.
Exactly,
yes.
a shot on their end. Thank you. So that means they can pull the goalie, have an empty net, and have an extra man on the attack. So it'll be 6-on-5 for a little bit until one of the opposing
It's got to be
players-
quick. It has to be quick because it doesn't. It only lasts a few seconds usually.
Yeah.
Right, because the offending team figures it out pretty quick.
Yeah, usually they try as hard as they can to get that puck
touch
and
the
stop
puck. Yeah.
play. Yeah, exactly. So that's the only other instance you'll see an empty net. So kind of interesting.
Nice
Okay.
work.
And it did happen in the game last night. So okay, let's cover it briefly. I just wanted to give a cursory mention that the NBA playoffs also kicked off, but we were more excited about hockey. So we're talking about hockey first, and we're going to come back to the NBA. Only thing you need to know is if you're curious about the top 3 teams picked in the brackets there, like who most people have their eye on winning, you've got the Oklahoma City Thunder, who won last year, and people think they're going to continue to win. Yep. Apparently, they still have the best record of the year.
They're the best everything this year. They're going in this extremely healthy and strong.
So they're looking like the new dynasty, which is kind of fun. Then there's the what's the city in Texas? The Spurs.
San Antonio.
San Antonio Spurs.
Victor Wembanyama. That's the 7 foot.
Star?
Victor Wembanyama. He's 7'4", came from France. They've been bringing him along for 3 years. He can handle the ball like a point guard, shoot threes like a great shooting guard.
7'4".
He just received the Defensive Player of the Year award.
Okay.
With that, it was the first time ever a unanimous vote. Ever.
No way.
First time ever.
Wow. He was just that good. Yeah. Okay.
And he's getting there, and he's limited in minutes a little bit just because of his size and the way he has. But if you haven't seen him play, it's like the giant rubber band man playing, running up and down. He's real thin, but he's gotten strong.
Victor Wembanyama.
Victor. They call him Wemby. It's Wembanyama. Wembanyama.
Victor.
They call him Wemby. Wemby.
Wemby's nice. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
And then the third team is the Boston Celtics that most people think they picked for their bracket to win.
So you're saying the team we picked on that parlay that time?
Oh
the
my
Houston
gosh!
Rockets, or they're in it, but they lost to the Lakers the first game, which they should have never done. But now KD, Kevin Durant's slightly injured, and they could go down in flames to the Lakers, who the Lakers' top 2 players are injured. So anyway, that's the only thing I've been interesting. If anybody wants to take a look. The Lakers right now, it's kind of a fascinating first round because of them in Houston.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Well, yeah, we'll come back to that because there's some interesting stuff. And Portland barely squeaked their way in. And I was talking to a guy the other day, huge Portland Trailblazers fan, and he's got a lot of hope that he thinks they can bring some fight. So, but their chances look kind of slim. So. I wanted to mention one thing just for kicks, and let's come back to this another time. This is just a headline I read. A new Senate bill is aiming to end regional blackouts and require free local game access across all major leagues. So I don't know. Let's just leave that as a teaser. Let's come back to that. I'm very curious about that because you've heard me complain a lot that I'm a guy trying to get into sports, but then I run into these stinking blackouts or for this local team that I should be able to support, I'm trying to support. Anyways, so you've heard me, you've heard me go on about that, but so that's kind of interesting. Do you think that'll actually go through?
I don't know if I think they have the right. The U.S. federal government has the right to tell these leagues how to do their business in terms of selling access to their games.
That's the government.
I think they would lose in the court system.
That's overreach, government overreach in your opinion.
I have a problem with that. I think you let the fans in the market and the pressures bear eventually, and they'll come around if people start withholding their wallets.
Yeah, that's fair.
But anyway, that's my way to take it.
Require free local game access. I was kind of like, I don't know. That seems like a bit much, but ending regional blackouts, I do like the idea of.
Oh, I think it's a great idea. And I'm saying it doesn't hurt having the government rattle the saber a little bit, but I think realistically, I wouldn't. I'm a capitalist pure at heart in that sense, and I don't believe in that. But it's good to have the attention drawn to it and maybe get their attention. And
It
and
seems like
loosen
that's
up and
how.
get a little bit more access.
Yeah, they'll propose a really dramatic bill and
Right.
planning to. It's like negotiation, right? Planning to compromise and only get part of it or whatever.
Or at
Isn't that
least
the idea?
help push change along,
Yeah.
voluntary change after you put a little heat on them.
Yeah. All right.
But anyway,
Okay. Well, I'll let you finish us off with the biggest thing coming up this week. And I imagine we'll talk about it more next week after the fact,
yes,
but tell the
definitely.
people what you're so excited about this week.
I am, and I've talked about how the NFL keeps themselves in the limelight all year round. So, what's been building for weeks and weeks and weeks and months, literally, the NFL draft starts. Got to be Thursday night, right? Thursday night, then Friday and Saturday. There's 7 rounds. First round's what everybody gets drug out. Couple of things structurally about the draft that's better. It was like 20 years ago, they used to allow 15 minutes. I can't remember how many years ago, many years ago. They used to allow 15 minutes for each team in between. And it took like 6.5 hours to go through the first round. It's brutal. They now have cut it down to 8 minutes. So
Okay.
because it's become a TV event, right? And
Mm,
so what's everybody's people can't hold on that. They need to be able to go to the bathroom, get another refreshment, grab a snack in between. But 8 minutes is perfect. It was
okay.
10 minutes just 2 or 3 years ago. It's 8 minutes now. So it's zipping along. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
So that starts. The reason I'm just bringing everybody's attention because we're going to talk about. We know you and I've talked about the Las Vegas Raiders have the number 1 pick this year because they were the absolute worst team. Structurally, again, the NFL is so smart. They have always structured the worst team the prior year always gets the number 1 pick. If you're the
Okay.
second worst team, you get the number 2 pick. The reason they do that, they're trying to help teams be competitive and not always. So if you're the best team and you're always really good, you're going to always be, there's 32 first round picks. You're always going to be 24, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Yeah.
9. You'll be towards the tail end. That's by design. They want to see teams be able to flip, in a given year or two and be more competitive and be better. So that's by
Okay.
design. So I'm sure the Jets are number 2. Yeah, they got to be number 2. Anyway, but so that's happening. That's just a little bit about draft position and how that works. The
Now,
things that I care about, we know what I'm sorry.
did the Raiders, because I know we've talked about in the past, well, why not try to be the worst team, throw your season so you can get the first pick? But you
Yeah.
said, well, coaches still need to prove that they've got something. My point
Coaches
is, did the Raiders coach get swapped out?
Yeah, I think they've this year. Yes, they have. Yes, they've already cleaned house. They cleaned
Okay.
house at the end of last season. But yes, and remember, players really cannot do that. There's only a tiny select few that are so great and such big contracts that know that no matter what, most, probably 70% of the guys are playing for a job. So they're
Sure.
putting, as they say, they're putting plays on film because they're
Okay.
they're auditioning for another job with another team if they get
Okay.
traded or if it doesn't work out with existing bad team. It's
Cool.
hard. It's hard on them. I'm sure they love that they're competitive and some are more competitive than others. But yeah, it's much more difficult, I think, to tank in NFL until you come maybe the last few games of the season.
Yeah.
You start protecting your starters. They have all of a sudden they've got a slightly pulled hammy. Your
Yeah.
best wide receiver. Or something. But it's not really a great strategy overall for sure. Tanking
Okay.
in the NFL, I don't think.
Sure.
But anyway, so I'm excited. Fernando Mendoza, which we love saying his name. I want to bring him up because he is going to be the number 1 pick. He is going to be with the Raiders, and you know who one of the small co-owners of the Raiders is now, right? Tom Brady.
Okay.
So Brady is all excited, and of course Mendoza is not saying he's so how he is. He's so perfect. That would be a dream come true to have him coach and pressure me and push me, da 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 da. But I've got to be selected first. I got to wait, da da da.
Yeah.
But anyway, so
Very
that's
professional.
kind of cool that Brady factor and his Raiders and
Cool.
Mendoza. So I'm excited to see him go. But here's the thing that's most interesting this time. If you know you're going to be one of the probably top the first round, the NFL really wants you. And this year the draft's in Pittsburgh.
Okay.
They move it around city to city now. It makes it a big deal, right? It brings
Yeah.
millions of dollars into that city. Fans, it's really it's a huge show, big event. Classic NFL, right? Early on, it was just a back alley room. Nobody cared. They barely filmed it. the draft, and it
Okay.
evolved to this incredible show that they take to different cities. But what's interesting is, of course, if you're going to be number one draft. So anyway, if you're going to be in the top, if you're going to be in the first round, particularly, NFL wants you there. They want you dressed in your best suit. They want your best 8 to 10 members of your family with your table, and with the family sitting. And if you're one of the top few, you're in a green room. You're waiting to come out and make the walk. Have the cool hat on. They have the cool suits on, and they give Commissioner a hug, Goodell, and high five, fist bump, whatever, all the things they do. And they hand them a jersey with a number 1 on it because it's the first round, number 1 pick. Well, he is, and I know he had to explain himself, and the NFL just had to suck it up. I know they didn't like it, but he's not going. He's staying
Mendoza's
home.
not?
No, he's staying home.
Really?
He's
because his mom, right?
There you go. That's the principal reason. Travels hard on his mom. She's wheelchair bound. This all made done. We talked about her before. She has had MS for 15 years, and he wants to make it easy on her. He goes, because I know as soon as draft's over, I'll get on a plane the next morning. And there's just no need to basically drag her to Pittsburgh. We'll just stay in Florida. And he says, this way too, I can have those that really help me get to this point just close by at the house. He said, but I understand this. He is just, you can't coach this, is all I'm going to say. But his interview I saw him on, he said, however, I want to be supportive. And this year, I want to be supportive of ESPN. They put on the program. I've told them they can have as many cameras, many angles, many people they want in our home, on our property. Nice. We want to support the program, basically the show.
Yeah.
He didn't say it like that. He said it better. But I mean, that's how smooth he is at such a young age. He said, so smooth. I understand. He said, but after I talked to them, they understood my reasoning and they accepted it. And I said, I bet they weren't happy. But I thought it was, so to me, again, it keeps adding layers of his integrity and his goodness.
Yeah.
And hopefully he won't ever fall from there. Other than that, there's so much. If you have an interest in it, you ought to go look real quick before the draft starts. But, Mel Kiper Jr. is the number 1 draft guru. And he started, I won't even go into him, but his history is fascinating. I've been following him for decades. But he does have, only thing I was going to say here, we're big BYU fans. And the top 150 of his top 150 draft picks, there's no BYU player. We do have a couple that are mentioned in a couple other guys' drafts. They call them mock drafts. And Chase Roberts is one, but it's not till like 165.
Okay.
And then there's who's our other one? Jack Kelly, our linebacker.
Oh, wow.
Somewhere in the mid 150s, potentially be drafted. And, and again, I'm just talking about the draft here more than just individuals because it's fascinating. What's fun to watch it for, especially in that first round, are the trades that all of a sudden happen. There are teams that have been working behind the scenes for weeks, and there's some deals already struck. The ones that generally are the most fascinating in that first top 10 to 20 draft picks is all of a sudden you'll hear, Pittsburgh trades with Miami to move up to their number 5 spot. And Miami's going to drop down to number 8 spot. They're going to get another first round pick. They're going to get this player. And so it's the trades that happen that move these picks around and move these players around sometimes. It's fascinating. I think that's really cool and fascinating. So that's
so
fun thing to leave.
Phone calls going on behind the scenes, I imagine.
Well, like I said, with 8 minutes in between, most of these deals, they're already at least pre-planned and pre-agreed upon. But guess what? Some like New York Jets can always screw everything up because they draft stupidly half the time. So all of a sudden they draft somebody out of the blue, like Zach Wilson, which they should have never done that high. Draft somebody out of the blue, which tumbles everything, right? It changes the dynamic.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, that player was not going to. They draft him number 2, and he was going to go number 9. Oh man, we got to shift gears, and I no longer, So to me, I find the draft itself fascinating and how the teams move and who they pick. Big rule there. Probably the best athlete, I think, the consensus, the best athlete is Notre Dame's running back Jeremiah Love. He can do everything. He's unbelievable. But running backs generally, and it has to do with contracts, guaranteed pay, generally you don't want to take them in that first round, but particularly you don't want to take them in the top 10. But it's possible the Jets could take him early. And anyway, he's probably the best athletes. I thought you would find this interesting. Historically, wide receivers are the biggest busts. They take a lot of wide receivers in the first round, but they're known for, just think of the most high-strung horses racing, in horse racing, right? They're so high-strung and they're on the sprint. They're crazy. Well, that's a wide receiver. They're egocentric. They're, man, a lot of them are they got to be me, throw me the ball. I mean, there's personalities are that way. And so by percentage, in the first round, they're the highest bust rate. Interesting enough, the lowest bust rate in the first round are the most boring players nobody wants to know about, but they're the most important on the offensive. They're offensive linemen, centers or guards, sometimes left tackles. They're the most influential, or the ones that get the most money. But the centers and guards are the highest hit, as in success rate, players on the first round of the draft. So I thought that was fascinating. That's really all I got to say about it. We'll just talk about it next week.
I've never heard that about wide receivers. I didn't know that was
oh my gosh,
such a big part of football culture.
Oh, they're divas. Diva, capital divas. Yep.
Wow. Okay. Well, we'll have to come back to that sometime. But that's great. I think, honestly, that is plenty for this week. So I'm ready to wrap it up. But yeah, thanks so much, Dad.
It was fun.
Yeah, so I guess we got some exciting playoffs in both NHL and NBA this week, but the NFL is probably going to dominate the news with the draft stuff. So keep an eye out for some drama and some fun there. And otherwise, we'll catch you next week. So thanks so much, Dad, and thanks so much for tuning in, everybody.
Good job.
All right, see you later. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
SportSense.